So Evolve has gone into what they are calling Stage 2. It evolved. You get it? You get it? That's a good one. I got a good laugh out of that one. But yeah, Stage 2. What they've done is they've made it free to play. That's what Stage 2 means. What I feel like that's a marketing fail. When I heard about Evolve Stage 2, I was like, oh, okay, is this like some kind of DLC or something? But no, it's actually gone free to play. It was previously about $60, and that was a catastrophic failure. I don't think I've ever seen such a big flop. Like, this game was hyped to no end, and like they had all these like tournaments. What else do they have? So they paid lots of money for tournaments, and like there was lots of media coverage, and everybody was talking about it. It seemed like a really big thing. And then once it actually got onto the market, and it was $60 for a multiplayer only experience like this, it didn't do so hot, and it actually kind of made me hesitant about Overwatch when I started hearing about Overwatch. When I heard that you had to pay to play that multiplayer only experience as well. But as we've seen, Overwatch was a huge success, and Evolve was not. So why did Evolve fail? Right? That's the kind of question you have to ask yourself. Why did Evolve fail where Overwatch came in and did pretty much the exact same thing, except is a resounding and complete success? And as you'll see in this video, it's because Evolve sucks. That's the short and sweet of it. And you can like Evolve, that's totally fine. So please don't, bombard the comment section with, oh, but I like this game. Yeah, you're kind of a needle in a haystack. This game is pretty awful. So right off the bat, the controls are garbage. So moving around this game world, yeah, I get that it's supposed to be like on a moon, or something like that. It's a different planet, different gravity. But I never felt I don't ever feel like I'm actually in control of my character and how it moves. And I know it's such a stupid thing to say that the controls are floaty because you have a jetpack and everything, but the controls are floaty in a way that doesn't feel good. And I think it looks awful. It has high fidelity or whatever technical term you want to use, but it looks like they smeared mud all over everything in this game. And they kind of do this oh, but you got a light and everything else is kind of dark. It kind of adds to this you're actually on this planet, right? No. And then the sky is dusty and gross, and all the effects look like you could find them on the asset store for Unity or something like that. Cheap particle effects and explosions and everything. And it looks so awful. This is a AAA title and it looks so bad. And so going back to playing it, so we're trying to fight this monster, right? And you have to find him first, right? Because that's fun. Everybody loves to just walk around a game environment doing absolutely nothing. And when you do find them, you have your assault class. They throw up a dome, as you can see kind of on the outskirts. And that traps the monster, so the monster can't get out, right? And then during this time, you and your 3 other buddies gets to basically free fire on this monster, while the monster can fight back, but they usually don't want to, right? They want to get out and level up as much as possible. So the end game for the monster basically is to survive as long as possible. At least that's how I think it works. Whereas our mission is basically to kill it as quickly as humanly possible, right? So it's kind of like 2 different end games, right? Except it's so I'm this bug creature, which admittedly has a really cool design. I like the idea of this oh yeah, we won by the way. The monster should have ran so much. As soon as the dome went down, it should have ran instead of trying to fight us. And I'll get to that in a moment. But I was this really neat looking bug creature that was a support class, but it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And using everybody's abilities and everything, they're so they don't mesh together well. Like, oh, I don't want to go back to Overwatch too much because I'm such a fanboy. But like in Overwatch, every like a character's moveset feels so natural, and like the way they move, the way they look, the way they play, the way they act, all just like meshes so incredibly well, so expertly done. And then this is like your assault guy has this lightning gun. Like, okay, he has an assault rifle. Okay, that sounds. But he has a mine. Wait, shouldn't that go to the? And then he has body armor. I guess so. And that's mostly okay. And then he gets this bug creature, and he's like, he has this weird AOE healing. He has flies that go out, I guess, and they do something. And then he has this weird shotgun thing. Okay, and then he has like some kind of pot. Like, what? There's such a big disconnect between every single one of those abilities and every character that I played. And I'm trying not to rag on this game too much, because at a base level, it's definitely, for a free-to-play game, it's pretty good, I guess. I ragged a lot on how it looked, but it looks okay. Like, for a free-to-play game. I just don't find this game enjoyable in the slightest. And like right now, right, so we're running after this monster, and it's supposed to be like, it's hard to describe it, but it's like, it feels so out of place. Even though like this is exactly what the game was designed around, you know, like being hunters and chasing down this monster, but it feels like this part shouldn't exist. Like right now, we're doing absolutely nothing. Just so I don't fall asleep, I'm like throwing these mines around, right? But while we chase this monster, absolutely nothing is going on. The monster, I think, is just farming the jungle. And we're just, you know, running after it, right? So this is entirely boring. And like, okay, so I'm just going to say now, while there's no action, which is most of the time. But in between games, there's at least 15 minutes before you can get into another game. So you play this one match, right? Like this 3-minute match. And then you wait like 15 minutes just to get into. That's not even matchmaking. That's just sitting in the lobby. That's just waiting for the faux loading screen. It's so aggravating. It's just like every part of this game is a mess. Like, yes, it's like a AAA title with like, you know, big time developers and game designers, but I think this game is just awful. I think I'd rather play Shooting Girl. So, you know, we catch up to the monster again. I'm laying these mines again, which don't seem to actually do anything. I don't think I've ever had an indication that one of them actually hit the monster. I think if this game was just like a big boss battle against a monster with more MOBA-styled abilities and... Like, okay, so I feel like that's another thing. Like, this game is halfway between, like, a MOBA and an FPS shooter. It's like they really wanted to capture the FPS section part, but they didn't actually do it all that well. And then they tried to get the MOBA aspects, but they didn't do that well either. It's just, like... Looking back on this game in retrospect and wondering why it failed, why it was such a catastrophic flop, it makes sense. And like these monster designs aren't very interesting. Most of the character designs and interactions aren't interesting. Like half the characters are just like regular looking mercenaries. I think that the bug guy, whatever his name was, like Slick or something, or Slime, I don't know, was the only interesting and unique character that I saw. And even he, like, actually playing it is not fun. Like, the mines don't feel good to use. The body armor is just a stat, or a flat buff to your damage reduction. The lightning gun doesn't feel very good to use. Like, half the time I didn't know what was even going on. But, like, and, like, the game doesn't explain itself very well and what's supposed to be going on and what, you know, we're doing or anything. I think this is like the very best, worst AAA title. No, wait. It's the best. No, it's the worst, best AAA. I don't know. It's bad. In the sense that it is. I should have said this at the very beginning, but I think this game is bad considering what it is and its history, and considering everything basically. So like I may give a crappy browser autopather, like a 7 or something. That's because in relation to other browser games, it's actually pretty good. But when I compare this game to, say, Overwatch, which I think is its competitor, I would rate Overwatch 10 times more than I would rate this game. Or I should say, I would rate Overwatch 10 times as good as this game is. I don't know if I actually finished my thought process earlier, but if this game was just the dome section and had more mobile-like aspects, I guess mobile-like aspects, where like the abilities on your character are actually meaningful, then that would actually be... This would actually be better, I think. If they had gone for Evolve Stage 2, right, and drop that, just give it an entirely new name, but just restrict it to the dome, get rid of the tracker, and make it a more supporty kind of character. Not a medic support, but like a regular support. And then get rid of this like 1, 2, 3, 4 hot button presses, right? And instead make it more like Overwatch. I think this game would have been better if they had done that. Right now it's just a mishmash of terrible everything. Thanks for watching.